Hello class, we are from group 11. We will discuss about church, family, and issues of modernity. A response, Paul G. Hibbert. But first, let me introduce my group. The members of my group consist of 5 people, namely Wida, Esther, Yuvita, which is me, Noreen, and Marianche. Preliminary. Jack Balswick and Downward have added a new dimension to our analysis of the family and the church in the context of modernity. The papers so far have dealt with theological approaches that deal with God's intention for family and societies, and with psychological approaches that examine individual human responses to life. They help us to see the real worlds in which human life and understanding can be gained from sociological model analysis. They remind us that all individuals are enmeshed in larger social and cultural system, and that these play an important part in the shaping of the individual.
Modernity. Balsuk and Ward ask the question of what is modernity? We into the fly that history is moving several directions. In the world we live in is different from the past. What is the cause? What are its strengths and drive? In clarifying the professions, there is an understanding that there will be difference between one and another, so that the modern is always compared to the past. For example, in the past humans did not use vehicles. Now vehicles come in various forms that are used by humans. Ray Anderson's theological concept of modernity is moving towards a kind of culmination. Another understanding says modernity is the same as civilization, that the time Pharaoh and Moses was classified as modern people because there was already advanced technology. First Cobart, Palestine at the time of Christ was the modern world, so there was competition that made Paul try to strengthen the Christian family. Galatians 5:21, 6-4, Colossians chapter 3 verses 18 to 21, 1 Timothy chapter 5 verses 13, etc. Balswick and Ward argue that modernity is the type unit of the techno-social order, the characteristic of the new order. There is a rapid expansion with the existence of commodity products, which makes the understanding of reality fragmented, and the result is that communication is cut off and the family community loses a sense of meaning and purpose. Modern society is not unique because it places and produces material goods at high price.
Okay, I will continue to explain about additional dimension of modernity, the character's views on the dimension of modernity. Durkheim said that the occurrence of a change from the group to the individual that causes the bond of kinship and solidarity in society. The emphasis in today's world, according to Max Weber, to make money becomes an obligation to overcome the economic mentality and provide the foundation of a capitalist society. The mechanistic view of the world for Peter Berger shifted from an organic to a mechanical view of reality. The metaphorical shift of cultural roots that gave rise to a science. Scott Barchi. Modern stem from the dichotomy of reality, and Mary Douglas said that another character of modernity is cultural pluralism, with the occurrence of division in society regarding the shape and the meaning of symbol that occur modification so that the family is not seen as ordained by God or society. It is important for us to examine the modern dimension of family and kind relation and of the church. By truly understanding the message of the Bible, we can make the gospel relevant to our home and lives.
A theological critique of modernity. Balswick and Ward make a clear that for Christians a sociological not accept biblical truth. The church itself too often has become a business and organization for the marketing of the gospel. A biblical theology calls us to see people as human beings, to give priority to relationship over material goods, to care for the poor, the marginals, and the failures, to reject social systems that honor the rich and powerful, and that long-edged servant leadership, and to see ourselves as stewards of resources that belong to God and not us. Women's critic specialization and has reduced ministrations in the church to specialists. We need to balance the rationalization of theology with essence of mystery and awe before creation and is killer and commitment to discipleship and obedience. We have to face the increasing pluralism of modern society. The courts we need to affirm the absoluteness of the Bible against the increasing trend of a worldly orientation. We need to regain a sense of sacredness by returning myth and recall to a central place in the home and courts.
The search for the integration. The papers in this conference are complementary in two ways. First, some articles are theological and others scientific. The former provide use knowledge of God, His intention in creation, and His redemptive acts. The latter help us to understand the nature of humans, their societies, and their cultures as seen from a human perspective. Second, some articles are synchronic and others are diachronic. The former seek to understand the underlying structures of reality, how these operate, and the functions they serve. The latter examine the true stories of reality. And these structural models help us to understand and predict what is going on around us. Synchronic models. Synchronic models show us the universal order of things. They do not look at specific events or at changes in this order. Diachronic models, on the other hand, look at the story of the cosmos, of human societies such as Israel, and of individuals. We can see in Figure 1 complementary belief system. The theology in the diachronic models is the Biblical theology, the cosmic story, God's action in his story. While theology in the synchronic models is systematic, theology the ultimate structure of reality, nature of God and of the universe. The following diachronic models seen in science it is the historical sciences, human history and biography, while science in the synchronic models is natural and social sciences, the structures of nature, humans, and societies. Diachronic models focus on time, stories, real events, and change, whereas the synchronic models focus on unchanging structures of reality. For integration to take place, we need to examine the ways in which this understanding of reality relates to each other. We need also to note when problems and contradictions arise and examine your theologies against the biblical data and your sciences against observational data. Meaning ultimately lies not in the structures of things, but in their stories, not in the way human beings function, but in the stories of real people living their lives in a modern world.
Relevance to human realities. In the end, what does this conference have to say to these real people struggling to make it in their marriage, to raise their children, and to find personal fulfillment in a modern society? As Anne Hoffman pointed out, we are always in danger of formulation beautiful theories which have little relevance to the problems real people face. The church too needs to be challenged to its task of critiquing its social and cultural context. Too often, it has lost its prophetic voice and serves only to legitimate the existing structure of a sinful society. It needs to teach wives the meaning of partnership in a marriage and children to respect their parents. Thank you.
In modernity, we need to look at careers and family studies so that we know how to respond to this issue. So that is late used to modernism by making Christ a foundation for growth and service. The family is the foundation for worship. That is all, and thank you. God bless you.